my perspective, no matter your race, no matter your age, on my perspective, don't even worry about your fear. Come on and bring your thoughts right here. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Let's bring our thoughts together.
Hi, and welcome to My Perspective Mondays. Let's welcome our cast. I'm Lisette, and we're going to have a great show tonight. You know what? All those that are watching, please don't forget to do some live chatting because we care about your perspective as well. And hats off to our guest, Devin Oates, for joining us tonight. And you know what? We're going to talk about tonight what foods did you have to give up? You know what? That really upsets you. I love to eat, and I know that I mean I definitely got some food that I had to stop eating that upsets me, okay? But I want to know from you guys, what foods have you had to give up? Let's start off with the meats. How about that?
It's
Is
funny.
there a meat?
I thought you said what fools, and then when you said it
No,
again,
what
I heard
food?
food.
What foods? What food? Food olive.
That's a lot. We're doing what fools? We don't have that kind of time. Uh,
No, no, I had to give up a lot of to no. What food? Food.
oh man.
Mark, what about you? Not no Pinder? I mean Stevens?
Me,
Jane.
me and Jay are offended at the non-liking of sausage for different reasons, but
Do you like pigs in a blanket?
mm, mm, you don't go to the buffets no more.
Why?
Yeah, yeah.
As you should.
Stuff will have you on the stuff will have you on the well, hopefully we're never looking for sponsorship from any of those three. Thanks, Mark. No, I'm just kidding. You and most people who like coffee don't like Starbucks. Um, if
It's still expensive.
I had
I feel
I had
that.
to make the decision as I got older. Once I crossed 40, I said, you know what? And all you stereotypical people out here are going to giggle. I don't care. I had to limit the amount of fried chicken that I eat. Fried
Mm.
food. Oh my God. There's a reason why people love fried food. It tastes better.
And I
So,
like the skin, crunchy
yeah.
skin.
So not
Mm.
only the fried chicken, but a lot of fried foods I had to dial back on to almost where I'm not eating it. It feels like I gave it up because I'm eating it maybe once or twice a week instead of 5 times a week.
Same.
I really miss eating it more.
Hmm.
Well,
Right.
I'm subject to diabetes and high blood pressure and all that stuff, so I had to make pre some preemptive strikes.
Man, I,
Yeah, it's genetic. It's genetics through the long years of diet, but you can weed it just like with a lot of ailments, they can be weeded out of your family. This is going to sound so terrible, but there's a reason why in certain cultures hundreds of years ago, any frailty, anything that did not seem strong, they killed because they wanted to keep that out of the gene pool. So of course we don't do that these days. We can't just kill everyone your family who has diabetes or disposed to it. But that's why that's one reason why they used to do that back then. And so when your family has developed, or even a culture has developed a history of something, it's a real thing. And so the faster it's attacked,
Oh,
that culture or
American
family,
eugenics is still around.
weed it out of the gene pool.
What about you, Devin?
Well, I don't really have any meat as far as like the fried, like John said, the fried stuff kind of had to go. I work in the deli, so there's a lot of that going on. I mainly stick to the meat, like as much protein as I can get, lean as I can go. But my biggest issue is my sweet tooth. I hate giving up the pastries. I hate it, but it had to go, or it's slowly going further and further down the road.
What happened? Everybody just stopped. What happened? Oh, yeah, it's milkshake. The others are allowed to talk. I know y'all know the drill by now.
I thought everybody froze up here. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
right. Hold on a second, because we've got a couple. Mark, your audio is not coming through, and you're frozen online. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to Weenie's weekly market update a little early, and we'll try to fix our technical difficulties. Greg, are you ready?
Is my camera on?
All right, here we go. Intro.
Hey, hello. Welcome to Weenie's weekly market update, where basically I tell you what happened last week briefly. I'm going to go over what to look for this week and then a few trading tips along the way. So let's get right into the segment over here. Right now, the SPY is just kind of doing a gapping crap. So what does that really mean? We started the day higher and then we sold on off. And if you watched last week's market update, you could clearly see that the market was going sideways. I was basically saying, the market's going to be just a little bit neutral this week, meaning if you invested in the market, you didn't really make any money, but you also didn't really lose any money. So the market's really just going into a holding period and waiting for CPI. It's waiting for the CPI report. And basically that just tells us how much inflation are we expecting to have in the last few months. Last report, I made a YouTube video on it, just going over key levels. And I was just talking about how the report might be a little bit higher on the last inflation report. So think about gas, think about all the goods and services, and think of the food that you buy at the grocery store. Is it going to be higher than expected or lower than expected? Are prices going to be higher? My estimation is that inflation is actually going to be a little bit lower this time. However, we're still going to have inflation. So the cost of things will still be rising, but not rising at the rate that we're exactly used to. So that's basically what we're looking for this week is what's the CPI report going to do to the market? Are we going to break out to the upside, or are we going to sell off and come down and test some of these lower levels that were tested about a month or two ago? So a big trading tip that I have for you guys is when there's going to be a big report like this, if you're an active trader, it's actually best to just kind of sit and wait instead of being all hyperactive. That's a big mistake that I made today as I was really a little bit early on some of the trades. And a big trading tip that I can give for you is if, let's say you've got $1,000 to invest in. Well, I think it's unwise to just put all that $1,000 in one basket or just in one stock all at once. I think it's very wise to put it in chunks. So if you have $1,000 to invest, maybe put in $200 at a time, 200 again, and find those critical price levels and practice your position size. So what does that really mean? So if you would take a trade and you're only, the most you can lose on that trade is 10 cents and the most you can make is 20 cents, most of us could probably handle that trade pretty well. Nobody's going to be really upset if they lose 10 cents. However, if you really increase that position size and really just make it really intense, think about it. If you're risking like $1,000 on a trade, now you're going to watch it a little bit more closely than something like 10 cents. So it's really important to find that position size where you trade the best. And of course, that comes with practice over time. And so that's just a quick little tip on position sizing, wiggling in, wiggling out. Don't just throw all your money in the stock market at once. A lot of people or investors like to use the word DCA, dollar cost average. And that's a great way of taking your trades and also a decent way to invest because it keeps you involved in the market at different price levels rather than putting all of the risk on just one spot. So basically, I'm looking for the CPI report to actually come in with a little bit less inflation than normal, meaning it's actually could be good news for the markets. We'll see if we pop up or if we sell on off. I'll actually have to be waiting to trade this on Wednesday. So join me at Weenie Trades Live. We're going to be talking about the CPI report and trading the CPI report. I tend to do very well trading the CPI report and giving those direction, that market direction up, the market direction down. So that's basically the overall broad market waiting for the direction. I am positioned a little bit more bearishly in the longer term since we still are in a bear market. And so far, the technicals have shown us that this is nothing more than a bear market rally. And that just basically means it's a corrective wave in an actual overall downtrend. And so that's something to pay attention towards. And a few notable earnings I want to talk about. I want to talk about Disney real quick. Disney actually reports earnings this week. And Disney, if you guys didn't know, Disney is actually my biggest and best trade I've ever done in my entire life. And I actually talked about that on The Process, part 1. But basically, Disney, ever since the beginning of the pandemic, it's been hit really hard. You know, think about how Disney makes their money. They make their money from cruise lines. They make their money from the theme parks. And think about how those have been impacted from the pandemic. The pandemic just completely sucked out all the demand from Disney. And so this week, Disney's reporting earnings on Wednesday. The light blue lines that you see on the screen are what's the expected move is. And this is so basically, Disney, the expected move is about $7. And that's a bit high for Disney. So if you're into options trading, there is an opportunity this week of selling options premium. That's a little bit more advanced. Basically, what's going on is that Disney, I don't think, is going to do very well in the long term. And Disney's sitting at about $109 a share. After this earnings report, we'll see how it trades. But this week, it could get hurt quite a bit. And in the longer run, Disney has a lot of union issues. They've got a lot of, just revenue issues. Disney Plus doesn't make that much money. And so Disney, there are opportunities to actually make money on the downside for Disney. And so that's just something that I quickly wanted to note because that's a darling in the overall market. So as the market potentially makes its next corrective wave downward, I'm going to be looking for buying opportunities on some of my favorite stocks. And that can be for another Weenie's Weekly Market Update. So that's just talking about Disney. And on a quick brighter note, this Thursday, I'm going to be doing a Thursday night live with a mentor, my mentor Romulus. And my mentor Romulus, he has been in the markets for over 25 years. He's actually kind of the grandson of technical analysis. I've got tons of textbooks on technical analysis and trading. And a lot of the people that are in those textbooks, they're the ones that have taught him. Hi, Peter. How's it going? Peter's just all over the place right now. These are our cats, Peter and Parker. Some super cool guys over here. But I want you to join us for on Thursday. You just have to send him an email, romulusteaches.com. So romulusteaches@gmail.com. And we can get you in there. I'm going to be presenting there. Lots of great market analysis that's going to be done over there. So come join us. And that's all I have for this week's Weenie's Weekly Market Update. If you guys have any questions, you guys can ask me on stream at Weenie Trades Live. Romulus will also be coming on stream and joining us at Weenie Trades Live. So we're just here to take care of you. Make sure that all your positions are set to go. If you have any questions about the markets, no questions too simple or too advanced. We just want you guys to navigate these markets well and potentially make some extra cash. So thank you guys for tuning in to Weenie's Weekly Market Update. Let's get back to the show.
Difficulties.
All right, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Technical difficulties. Thank you so much, Weenie, for your weekly market updates. I really appreciate that. That was pretty awesome. I really appreciate that knowledge.
Lisette,
And you know what? We're going to get back to the conversation. Alita, can you tell me what are some of the foods or meats or whatever you would like to explain how perhaps maybe you had to get rid of some stuff and you didn't really want stuff, so anything that you had to get
Alita,
rid
don't
of
answer
and you
that
didn't want to
question
get
yet.
rid
Lisette.
of, but maybe you had to get rid of it, or even that it would
Lisette, can you
upset
hear
you
us?
if you did have to get rid of it.
Lisette,
Anything at all?
Lisette.
I see somebody said they had to give up some pork, which is pretty cool because I love pork
Lisette.
myself, especially pork
That's why I
chops.
like live.
Now pork
I would have
chops.
to go and
I
edit
mean,
all this.
I got to have pork chops fried.
Just gonna keep
I
going.
want that skin crusty. I see you laughing over there, Devin. You know what I'm talking about. It's got to be fried hard, and it's got to be nice and crusty with that
Where
nice.
is Clarence?
Yes.
Where is Clarence?
Hey,
Get to her and tell her
it's got to be.
that she can't hear.
What about you, Devin?
That was what?
You girl.
What?
I'm sorry, John. Everybody just has me thrown right now.
Hey, it's all good. Hey, life, little bitty bloops and bloopers.
Oh, she heard.
Because really, the
she heard
lights
you,
went out
Devin?
here. All right. So I'm saying like, wow, the lights went out. It's thundering. We're all gonna die. No, I'm just missing.
Let's just let Lisette have it.
No, but
Does she have a question for
everybody's
Alita,
gonna
I
come
thought?
back on. But what are some of the
She
things
just
that
asked the
you
question
had to give
to
up,
Alita.
Devin?
And then immediately went to Devin.
I think Alita should take the lead on this one. Alita?
Well, we're gonna wait on Alita. What about you?
Okay. So yeah, back to me. I just have a sweet tooth. I have a horrible sweet tooth that
Really?
yeah, I love cake, cookie, whatever. If it's sweet and has some sort of chocolate involved or icing, that's me. My aunt,
No,
my
Clarence, she can't
family
hear
does.
us, Clarence.
So what particular sweet do you like in that category? What
I
is it
think
that
we
you
can only
really
hear Devin
that you
for-
definitely would want to give up in that category?
I
Oh, it's
think
going to be
that
the
would
Devin Lisette show today.
thanks, John. I think that would have to be the cookie. I think it would be a cookie.
So you're a cookie monster, okay? Like my husband.
Yeah.
He's a
Love-
cookie monster too. I mean, he love himself some cookies, milk and cookies.
I am
Milk
Yes,
and
ruined.
cookies.
My production company is
He
going to go
loves the
under.
milk and cookies. No, milk and cookies, so that's interesting. You know what? I just like, my thing is fish. I had to put down, well, let me go back some. I had to put down some chicken. I mean, I would eat chicken every day of the week. I would eat it Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to the same
Get enough
the
chicken.
same restaurant. I would go there. I mean, that was like what I would do. That's what me and my husband both would do. And then I started noticing some loaves or some back fat, and I said, "What the world?" I said, "What's going on?" I said, "This cannot be. This just cannot be. What am I going to do about this?" And I had to let it go. So now, I mean, I don't know about you, Alita, but now I do not do meats. And well, I do fish. I will eat fish, but other than that, I had to let it go. I'm gonna tell you what made me. I see Lorraine said, um, said something about I tried to cut back sweets because she said she don't want to gain weight. And just like you, Devin, you got somebody out there that's trying to cut back on the sweets too. My husband's a cookie monster. And but Alita, what about you?
You better speak now.
Now look at Devin laughing at. She's laughing at you. You leave her alone. Leave her alone.
We're
Devin.
Because you can't hear
But
any
you know
of us.
what? I will say this. I was going to. Can y'all hear me, Jay? Can y'all hear me, Mark?
We can hear you. You can't hear us.
Jay,
No.
you said you had to give up butter.
This show has.
Hey,
Monday.
it's all good.
We haven't had a show
Hey,
for 3 weeks.
hey,
We just
you
been
know what?
laughing at you.
I had to. I'm gonna tell you what got me off meats. Now this is gonna be completely crazy.
John.
But Devin,
Weenie's live.
Kev, Keon, Mark, Jay, and Alita. What got me off meats was Dr. Pimple Popper. She got me off meats. You know what? Because when she would pop those nasty bumps and it looked like chicken coming out, I'm saying like,
Oh
I can't. I just can't.
no.
And then she said some of that stuff looked like cottage cheese.
Mm-mm.
And I'm saying like, I don't think I don't want it. I don't want no more chicken.
No.
I just don't want no more
Call
chicken.
them
I don't want any more pork chops. Thank
How
you.
long do you think
I
she's
mean,
gonna
I'm saying
go
like
on?
this is like hell. I mean, I just don't want any more. But I will say I
She's got another
love
40
trout.
minutes
Give
in
me
her.
some trout. I mean, I
Marathon.
think I would probably just fall over if I had to give up some trout.
Something about going in the
You know,
wrong.
what
path.
about Alita? What about you, Jay? What about Keone and Mark? Are you there? Are you there?
Yeah.
Are you there? Are you there?
Come
But
on.
anyway, you know what? It's all good. I just
wait for us to
believe
reply.
that sometimes you have to give up what you got to give up, especially when it comes down to your health. And so, hey, it is what it is.
Abe Bagoda.
Look at your beautiful smile. You're awesome. You
I
are
think it's
so
time to hear from
awesome.
Weenie again.
But, no,
Do we need another?
no, I can't hear anybody talking, but it's okay. Me and Devon,
So
we got it going on
can't
here.
hear
We're gonna
everybody.
hold up the fortress.
She's just gonna
What
do the
about
show
you out
when
there
we're
in,
sitting out
on the
and letting everybody
live
else do the
chat?
show.
What
Is
kind
that
of
what we're doing?
foods did y'all have to give up in order to maintain your health?
And then she stops and
Get
reads.
her to check her phone.
many times
Okay,
have you
that's
said,
for me.
"Don't read
To check my
this.
thing. All right. I'm gonna check my phone. I'm gonna check my phone. All right.
Thank you, Neon
I think I know. Okay. I'm gonna check my phone. All righty. Here we go, checking my phone. We're gonna check.
Hey.
All righty now.
I think Honey Boo Boo reruns are on. I think I'll go watch.
This is a absolute. The only thing that has
Okay.
gone right this episode is Weenie's weekly market update. That's the only thing.
No, I cannot. No, I cannot hear you guys. I can't.
We need bloopers.
I cannot hear you.
This whole entire episode is good. I blame Devin. It's
What?
Devin
What is that for
Devin.
me? Hold up, John. Wait a moment. Sir. Why?
I think he's trying to say that everything was perfectly fine until we added you as a guest, Devin.
Hey.
Okay, I thought, thank you, Jay, for clearing that up. Let me get on Keone right quick. Sir, you asked me to be here. I'm here, and I love it. There is no issue with me. This is just This is just the bee's knees. I tell you, how everybody can't be heard. We got rants going on. We're talking about food. It's lovely.
That's exactly the
I see you, but I just can't hear you. Where you at? Where you at? Where
We
you
log-
at?
log off-
Where
we
you
log
at?
off, long back on.
I just can't. I can't
Yeah,
see.
I-
We
you.
need a
I
real
can't.
affair. This needs to be on the real affairs.
I can't see you. I can't see. But I can see you, Devin,
Oh my
and I
God.
can see Alita. Oh.
Alita is still here.
Lead us
Yes.
froze up.
We're on.
All right, question I've got. Is going vegetarian a good idea? I am not a vegetarian. I love my meat too much. But we have some people on the panel that may have different insights on this. So, like Greg, maybe somebody else. Is going
Yes.
veggie a good idea?
So my take on this, and I actually was vegetarian for about 4 weeks, a little bit, 4 to 6 weeks. Then I actually went vegan for another 3 weeks. So not the longest time period, but I noticed that I had a little bit less strength. I did, feel a little bit differently. The whole point that I want to make is that I don't think it has to be all or nothing. I think that you probably shouldn't be pounding in pounds of meat each and every day, but you probably don't need to go vegetarian or vegan. It depends on how much muscle you want to keep, how much you want to lift, how active are you, what kind of body composition are you looking for. Arnold Schwarzenegger did the Meatless Mondays thing, and I think that that's a good balance where just maybe cut back every once in a while on it. And it depends on what kind of connotation you have with meat. Everybody has a different opinion on it.
Well,
What's your guys' opinion?
some people don't eat meat for different reasons, philosophical or religious, what have you. And I'm not really want to go there, but it seems to me that it's only been recently in our history that we had meat so often. I mean, we eat it 2 or 3 times a day very often. And I don't think historically that's what we were really meant to do. Whether it's not having it for breakfast, not having it for lunch, or doing a meatless Monday like you talked about. Perhaps and besides that, we get into fast food, and I think that's what's killing us more so than eating too much meat or not enough meat or what have you.
Yeah.
And that fast food, I almost started offending our potential sponsors again. Eating that all the time is not good, particularly when it's fried or not prepared in a very healthy way, like most fast food is.
Well-
yeah, that's. Oh yeah, go for it.
No, well, I do understand the thing with meat because, as I said, as we all said, and those of you who are on here on your 20s, you're probably not going to eat the same way you do now, 20 years from now. You know, Devin, Jay, you're probably not, because I remember in my 20s being able to eat everything. When I used to see those Hardee's thick burger commercials with the burger that looks about this big, I used to run and get 3 of them. Now I see the commercial and I'm like, whoa. And I still love hamburgers, but it's just the quantity. I think what we did was, I don't know, Mark, you know this better than me. When did it start? Was it the late 80s or 90s where we just started overeating, where everything was oversized?
I don't know. It was gradual. But I also remember, John, it's not just that, but also the time you would eat. I can remember, I'd be out on the town, whatever, at 10 or 10:30, did a munchie attack and go attack a Burger King and sleep just well that night. I could not dare do that now.
Well, the food quality from them, we all know, has gone down. Plus, Mark, I don't think they had Burger Kings in the 1920s.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get our panel back on here. Greg, just stand by to help us out if it doesn't work. But Lisette and Alita are going to come back on. Thank you for filling in.
I just want to say before I go, exercise is one of the best things that you can do. Even it can't always outwork a bad diet, but it can help a lot.
Only about 20%, Greg. Only about 20%.
I work out because I love eating.
Well, you're both.
There you go.
90% of what you put in your body. Yes, because working out after a double Whopper is totally different after working out after having a grilled chicken salad. It feels totally different. But you got to do it's the combination of both, like Weenie says. By the way, what we're going to segue before Weenie goes, what we were going to segue is Weenie Weekly Market Update is every Monday at 8 p.m. during the show. Also, every Monday, 12 p.m. on Weenie Trades Live, he has his lunch break with Keone. So Weenie trades for about 5 to 6 hours a day. So sometimes he needs a little break. So on Mondays, Keone stops by, we catch up, we talk about all kind of things to take a little break back from trading. The people that have watched him have kind of enjoyed it a little bit. So come on by on Mondays also and watch us at 12, and then stick around and learn some more things about trading. Thank you, Weenie.
Thanks for having me.
I'm just upset we're not invited to the wedding.
All right, Lisette, can you hear us now?
I can hear you now. The lights went off, okay? Where was y'all when the lights went out in Georgia? All right.
That was the night they killed an innocent man, but if you're not old enough, you have no idea what we're talking about.
I also don't think that we need to get a copyright strike off of music, Lisette, but let's not get into that.
Well, she didn't play the song; she sung it. She
Yeah.
So
There you go, loophole.
she may be good. She's a performer. Yeah. Y'all don't know.
Please do not. Okay.
I don't know.
Oh no.
But Lisette, Mark asked the question about. You go ahead and paraphrase what you had asked before when we came back from technical break.
Short answer is that a short question was, should we all consider going vegetarian, or should we at least consider cutting back on the amount of meat that we eat?
I would say yes. I mean,
To which
maybe
one?
at least the amount of meat that you eat, at least, because I don't do meats no more. Because I was, you know what, like I don't know if you heard me or not, because I know I went off in one of my tantrums. I don't know if y'all was hanging on to the earth or not, but all I know all I know is that I was doing the I ain't gonna say what I was doing, but I was doing chicken every day. And I wanted the greasiest piece of chicken I could find with the crunchy skin. I wanted it hard and crispy. And that's how I wanted it. And I would go by this place every day. I would tear that chicken up. And the chicken got to me because I started getting blobs of chicken fat all over my body, you know. All back in my bike fat, I must say, all over my body, black fat blobs. I mean, everywhere. And you know what? And I don't know if you heard this, but I began to watch Dr. Pimple Popper. Y'all ever
Oh,
see
God.
Dr. Pimple Popper? Dr.
Yeah.
Pimple. And when
Please
she
don't.
popped those, I'm serious, when she popped those big bumps, those big lumps and bumps, and it comes out looking like some raw chicken. And I said,
Lisette, be quiet. You just made me spit all over my keyboard.
I haven't eaten dinner tonight, and I don't think I'm going to after this episode.
Yeah, all body fluids are nasty anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I could ever go vegetarian because bacon is just too awesome. It's just way too. You can make a yucky face all you want. More bacon for me.
You can have it.
It's just I'm not trying to force anybody to eat. I'm telling you that I love bacon too much,
I
especially
love bacon too.
Applewood
I
bacon.
respect that.
But too much of anything is bad.
Yes.
You can have too many oranges and that's bad.
Moderation.
So and then every 5 years we're learning. They tell us to eat something, and then 5 years later they say don't eat that. Eat blueberries. 5 years later, don't eat blueberries. Eat more strawberries. 5 years later, don't eat strawberries. It's like, good Lord.
I like
So what do you do
watermelon.
with the 5 years worth of strawberries and blueberries
Watermelon,
that you?
strawberries. I'm right there. Let's say yes.
Watermelon every day of the week. I want the biggest. You know what? I want the biggest watermelon I can find, and I'll eat it.
Oh my God! What is? I got the black folk yelling chicken and watermelon.
My grandfather actually grows them, and there was one point where we fasted for church, and my grandmother, she made soup, and that was nothing but we could only eat anything grown from the ground. So she made soup, but I ultimately ate watermelon for like 2 weeks straight while we did the whole fasting for church. Lost a good bit of weight too. Not even gonna lie, I felt good. Felt real good. But back to Mark, I want to say with the whole vegetarian and veganism, I was a vegetarian a year and a half, almost 2 years before I went completely vegan. And I was a vegan for another year and a few months. I felt really light. I felt very healthy. I was exercising more, and recovery time felt real good. I feel like coming back here to North Carolina and eating meat again, it didn't really hinder me. But as far as like eating too much meat or like overeating, period, like you said, there should be a balance between how much meat you eat versus how much vegetables you put with that. A coworker of mine was talking with me yesterday about it, and he was like, that's why we eat vegetables with every meal we eat with meat, because it helps break down things and it helps us in our digestion. And I feel like it's important to have that balance too. So if you do want to go vegan or vegetarian, Jay, I see your face. If you want to go either or, you just have to have that mental willpower to just abstain from the meat. And then eventually it becomes second nature. So it's all for who sees the challenge and who will take it on for all that.
Well, you see, one thing in our culture, we live for immediate gratification, and meat provides immediate gratification. It fills you up fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so that mental discipline you talk about, that's tough because you got to eat, more vegetables. It takes you longer to do it. I remember I was in line at a counter one time, and I forgot why this was said, but the young girl in front of me turned around and said something about how expensive the healthy food is and how cheap the fat food is. And she said that, and she said it tongue in cheek, but she says poor people can't afford to eat healthy. And it's not really true, but it does take a lot more discipline. And there's some those non-healthy options out there. They are quicker and they're faster. They fill you up. So I think it's part of our immediate gratification culture too.
That is
Well, to be honest with you, hog brains is a lot cheaper than a piece of steak. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Of
some
course,
hog
because
brains.
nobody
You
wants to
ever
eat
had
that
hog
shit.
brains?
But I mean, decent food though, yeah, decent meat.
Yeah, you know what? That instant gratification, you're right. It's because I've learned that when I'm really, really hungry, just go get something small or simple. When I used to be really hungry and you go to a nice steakhouse and get that big, juicy ribeye, it looks and smells so good. And then you start eating it, you get halfway through and you go, oh boy. Yeah. And
I did it again.
yeah, I did it again. And then not to get too gross, we all know the difference of the after effects, right?
Yes.
No one wants to be all clogged up. You got to get that fiber. You got to get those vegetables in you. But
Yeah.
is there? What's a dessert though? What's a dessert? We're talking about meats and all that. What about the sweets? Because I know, especially some of us when we get a little older, the sweets got to go down. But what's a sweet that you can't eat anymore? Or
Before we get into that, I do want to put this advisory out. Do not
Uh-oh.
fill your stomach. It shortens your lifespan.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to let Mark do some research on that, and if he says that he agrees, I'll believe you.
Go ahead. I assure you, it is a thing.
He's probably right. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't that be crazy that every time you scratch your stomach, you take a year off your life? So you're supposed to die at like 102, but you die at 40.
Wow.
What? That would
That's
be
the problem. Woo.
that would be something.
Oh, Lisette, go ahead and read that.
I gotta put on me glasses, I must say.
Please.
I don't want to know what
you
you
are gonna
mean when
make
you
my
said you like
day.
to count meat.
Wait, oh no, Lisette, please read that. It's gonna make my day.
Honestly, I need a pound of meat, need a protein when I can. And I said this before. You gave me first. Oh Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
You didn't
read
read
it
it
wrong,
right,
but we're
so
not
it
getting
wasn't
into
funny.
that.
It wasn't
We're not
funny
getting
because you
into
didn't
that.
read it right. It wasn't funny, but the joke is past.
Wow.
Clarence says that they went to a vegan restaurant in Atlanta, GA, and it was great. That's the one thing. You don't have to go completely vegan, but you can still eat vegan stuff because there's some vegan dishes that I have had. And then there's some vegan that I hear of that I'm like, get it away from me. I don't know what this avocado ice cream crap is, but you said avocado and ice cream, so I'm already done.
I make the best vegan beef and pepper. I call it my vegan pepper dish. I put peppers and I put the vegan beef in there and then I put all my sauce and just be stirring stuff all up together and mixing something in my lab, and it's awesome. It's pretty awesome.
She's from the
I'm
South.
sorry. The fact that you
she's
just called
from-
your kitchen a lab makes me very unappetized.
She from the South. She put a little lard in that vegan.
Oh, Lord.
Lard in there.
No way.
I know
You have
Lord.
written
I know
your
one
word
thing.
quota. Anything else that you have to say for the remainder of tonight's show? Please shut up.
I used to.
I know one thing that'll make you go vegetarian is some chitlins. Oh,
Oh, never had chitlins.
I never had any chickens. I
Never had the chitlins. Mm-mm.
don't
My
want no hog brains neither.
Hey, look, if you've had sausage or hot dogs, you've had the chitlins and the brains.
yeah, you have. Yeah, you have, Mark, but it's
Can we get Lisette a bucket?
there's a whole
I'll find out
different
what it was.
process that we're not even going to talk about. It's just they didn't make the sausage in front of me. They didn't clean the parts to make the sausage in front of me. It's a whole different ballgame.
It's only mental though, but that's
No, it's smellable and seeable too.
Yeah.
I can smell and see it. But Lisette also has to do that because we know what happens when she goes to restaurants.
Oh Lord, Jesus! My
Especially the awful
God.
Is it that we shouldn't go to the restaurant with Lisette, or we just should all eat before we go out?
Eat before.
I have seen some stuff. I'm telling you. I used to get
I
my
used to get-
glasses.
She said I
used
used to get called chitlin as an endearing term. That's from a
Oh,
Do you know what a
Oh my
chitlin is,
God.
though?
Right.
Oh
She's
wow!
gonna look back to whoever said that and slap them when she
Ooh.
figures out what chitlin really
But
is.
John,
Good job.
let me take John and Lisette back memory lane here. Okay, you remember the Chitlin circuit? I mean, it's before our time.
Thank
Yeah, the
you,
comedy
Whitney.
circuit, the
The
chitlin.
comedy circuit, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they just came to mind as all. Red Fox, people like that.
Yeah, that was called the chitlin circuit. And we know for those of you who are watching today, Mark is always going
And
to
after
get
that, I blocked it
throwback
out.
term or name from beyond the years. So
I named one dead person. I named Red Fox.
I know. I'm just saying you're always going to give us something. We've
Yeah,
had Abe
that's my
Pagoda.
dead guy for the night. Sanford and Son. Let's know for that.
Love that show.
What's something that you were forced to eat as a kid that was just terrible. Not the typical thing like the kids, I don't want to eat my broccoli. We're not talking about that stuff. What's something you were made to eat as a kid that you just detest that you were ever made to eat it?
John, I gotta tell you this now. This is my quick advisory. Before I answer this question, if I go missing and you don't hear from me by 10 o'clock tonight, call 911 and send them to my address. You have it on file, because you know she gonna fly over here and try to kill me. But I'm gonna say it anyway. Spaghetti. I hate spaghetti.
You
She
too?
forced me to eat it. Yes. She forced me to eat it, and I swear, to this day, I cannot touch a plate of spaghetti. I will pass it to somebody else before you see me dig a fork into a plate of spaghetti. I am traumatized. I am PTSD. I refuse to eat spaghetti. There was never any meatballs. It stayed in the refrigerator for weeks at a time. And whenever I would ask for something else to eat, she would say, "There's spaghetti in the fridge. I'm not going back."
Wow.
Wait, was it canned spaghetti? No, it wasn't canned spaghetti.
No,
Lord
it was
have mercy.
homemade spaghetti, but it's the issue of pasta soaks up whatever moisture it is around. The fact that it has to sit there for weeks in a refrigerator, and on top of that, that's what you reheat whenever you put something in the microwave, is the moisture. It is disgusting.
Wow.
Okay, every Italian in America in the world is offended. All right. So
Well, my teacher, I can relate, Jay, because Jay, when I was in school, I didn't want that nasty spaghetti because it looked like a pile of worms.
Caesar burn.
And my teacher would make me eat it. So she said, everybody's got to eat their lunch before they go back to class. So what I would do, I would take my spaghetti and shove them in the milk carton, and maybe she wouldn't know that I didn't eat them. And one day she caught me, and guess what? She made me eat it.
Out of the milk carton?
it must have been all of that red sauce around the milk carton. That came
Gross. It's nasty. I guess it was. I think she saw me when I done it. She saw me.
Yeah, you don't strike me as a good sneaky person.
I'm not. That's why she
I
saw
can
me.
I can tell you something I hated because I grew up in the time where parents didn't make whatever made their kids happy like a lot of parents do now, that is not a complaint. I think it's awesome, except for those who make multiple dinners. You're nuts.
Yeah.
But I come from the time of we ate whatever mom cooked that dad wanted to have.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad liked liver.
Ew.
That was literally I don't
My
care.
dad hated it. Thank goodness.
I don't care if she baked it, if she fried it, whatever she did to it to try to make it taste better, it still stunk. And I used to squirt at least, and I used to get in trouble for it, a half a bottle of ketchup on it. I used to do whatever I could just to not taste liver. And no matter how much ketchup I squirted, I could still taste the liver. And people would go, "Well, you just haven't had it right. You haven't had the right liver and onions." I'm like,
Have
no.
you ever had liver pudding?
Yes.
No,
Now that's good.
no, it's
I
not.
Yes,
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 it
it
is.
is.
No,
That's
No,
good
it is
stuff.
not. That is
You take that
disgusting.
liver pudding and make it in the oven.
I'm with you.
That sounds
You
like a
got me.
chocolate hot
I'm
dog.
with you.
Add some rice.
That is the most
Yes.
southern shit I have ever heard.
Hey, hello. We in it, baby. We in it. Yes, Southern.
Listen, just because you're Southern don't mean you like everything, okay?
I don't mean you like
Because
everything, but
Southern.
liver pudding for this Southern person right here is
You have all the liver pudding you want, darling.
not sure. Just spread it with your ketchup, John.
Leave
So
me
you
the bacon. No, I'm an
Hot
adult
sauce.
now. I can choose what I want to eat.
That's the thing that people don't understand about ketchup, though. It's a bridging condiment. You could literally dip anything in ketchup and give it to a child, and they'll still try to eat it.
That's true. Yeah.
You can't about to dip you in ketchup. But I'm surprised your mom has not made an appearance today.
Because she's waiting until I get
She's
her on
waiting outside
camera.
that door, yeah.
Like I said,
Wait,
call
just-
911.
But what were you made to eat, Devin, that you just could look at your parents or teacher or whoever right now with the side of
I
I
hate
can't believe you
ketchup.
made me eat that?
It's just not me. What am I gonna do about this?
I don't think.
I had to let it go. So now, I don't know about you, Ali. Sorry.
What was that?
Lisette watching the show on her phone as she's doing.
Well, I just have to watch that.
What's going on?
Oh my God. Weenie, I know you're in the backstage. This is why I have drinks when I do this. This is why. This is why.
Oh, you drank, yes.
You know what? It's funny. Hold on. It's funny because when you go back and watch the old episodes, everything's so good because we edit and we cut out all the bad stuff. We kept some of the bloopers, but now I just like this because it's like whatever. Whatever's authentic, just go with it.
As you should.
To appease the Italians, I like tortellini.
Okay.
Tortellini's
You know-
delicious.
If you want to make an Italian person mad, go to a Italian restaurant owned by an Italian person, and when you're ordering your food, ask them what type of noodles do they have.
You want to make them really mad? Tell them you're going to a really nice Italian restaurant, but take them to Olive Garden.
I knew
Oh,
Olive
God.
Garden. I
no.
knew he was going to say Olive Garden.
Oh, that is such a we luckily we're not big enough to get sponsorship from Olive Garden and McDonald's and Burger King, but Olive Garden, it's just it's like what I like in Starbucks to coffee. Like it's not real coffee. It's just
Well, it's like Chef Boyardee. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
I guess they go Chef Boyardee too.
wow. You went far, like in the can.
In
Chef
the
Boyardee?
can. That's the only way it comes now, I think.
I don't know. I know that government cheese used to make some really good spaghetti though.
That stuff was good.
Check.
Won't see me eating it.
Government
You don't know anything about government cheese, Jay. You are too young.
That's sad.
No, I just meant Olive Garden's just a step above Chef Boyardee is all.
Wow.
That's how bad it is. I mean,
Wow.
Wow.
there's so many good Italian restaurants. You know, even some chain joints are good, but most of the locally owned stuff, small towns have them.
Wow.
Clarence says old.
That can be like the not placebo, that's the wrong thing. The effect of when enough people, you know, they always say if enough people say something, it's gonna be believed to be true because too many people
Mhm.
like when enough people praise a restaurant, they get embedded points because you have people that swear by Olive Garden. Like it's the
Word of
greatest.
mouth.
Yeah, it's the greatest
That's
thing.
better.
You said what's better?
No, I've had better than Olive Garden.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
know.
Luigi's out here in my area. That's better than Olive Garden.
You said in my area, like as if you lived in a small town that you didn't want to say.
I mean, I don't know how close we're gonna get to home. So I
I
just
mean,
want
are you over there in Kinston? Are you
What city do you live in, Devin?
what city do I live in? Is that what you said, Jay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the outside of Fayetteville.
Oh, you're like in Red Springs or what is it? Hope Mills?
Other side, you went down
Spring
south.
Lake?
Wow, nail on the head. Wow, really?
Oh, he's from Spring Lake. Oh Lord.
No, not from here. I just reside here.
Let me make that correction
difference.
real quick.
There's a difference. I'm not from Columbia. I reside in Columbia.
Thank you.
Has anybody ever watched The Psychology of Food?
Yes.
I've heard of that, but no, I haven't seen it. No.
Oh, check that out. That's kind of wraps up like all the things that we all have been talking about today, like the mental preparation to eating food, and a way you can, if you grew up in a family that always had dessert, you know, those privileged families across the street from me, that they had dessert after dinner, where dessert was like the Friday night thing for us. But if you had dessert after dinner, you could actually eat and then have something sweet, and you would think you're full because that's the way your brain has been trained, that once the sweet hits your tongue, and that's why a lot of people lose their appetite when they have sweets before they eat.
yeah.
Wow.
I guess
I
that was
can
I never
I-
heard that before. That makes sense though. Yeah.
I can have sweets before I eat, and it won't make me a bit of damn difference. But there's a lot of people, as soon as it hits the
Don't make
tongue,
me no difference either.
John, I was that house across the street from you.
you were. Ugh.
I was there. I'm sorry.
Here's an old reference for you, Mark. I was like, who lives next to me? The Waltons?
Oh Lord.
Oh, gosh.
For those who never saw that show, my goodness.
I think Jay's mom actually finally snatched him because he is gone.
Yeah. Finally got that belt out. He's probably
He
eating
is
spaghetti
gone.
right now.
Oh man.
She's
So
talking about
Uh-oh.
that was crazy because we didn't have a lot of things that we had to give up. Well, I guess mine was a genre of food, so it wasn't like one food specifically. But I would definitely, and I'm gonna say it again, I'll definitely hate if I have to give up bacon. I'm gonna hate it.
See, I just read this thing about bacon too, and
Mhm.
I feel like it might not ruin it for you because you love it that
It
much.
won't.
Oh, I
But
know
it's
it's not good. I
like-
love it too.
It was like the pig will eat anything. The pig is always in search for food.
No, see, that's a narrative because guess what? My family grew up on farms, and my grandfather would tell me, throw enough stuff out there and they'll all eat it. The chickens used to eat everything, but
Yeah.
the chickens
That's
they
true.
fed the chickens certain thing. So that's why all pigs aren't equal because you have farmers that don't feed their pig everything. That's not just a pig thing. That's just the narrative of the pig. Everything's disgusting. A cow regurgitates its food 4 times, but you're still going to eat it. You don't know if the waiter in the restaurant or the chef that cooked your food has scratched his butt sack or his nut sack, but you're going to eat it. So, I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
I'm not going to eat his butt sack.
That's what it boils down to. Yeah, that's what it all boils down to.
You don't know this stuff. Okay, clean your food, cook it, prepare it properly, and eat it. I don't know what happened to those strawberries between the time they were picked, the time they got to the store, and the time I got them to my house.
Mm.
And if it's
That's true.
organic, that means even more so.
I like picking mine when they in season.
Hey, you get to live one time. Guess what I've learned? If you eat meat, if you're a vegetarian, if you're a vegan, if you're on the Atkins diet, if you get mugged and someone stabs you, it all hurts the same.
That's true. That is true.
Your abs ain't stopping no bullets, Superman.
That's facts.
Mm-hmm.
So eat what you can while you can, basically.
But whatever you do, don't oh God. Oh my God, Jesus.
I feel
Dr.
like we should
Pimple
just have a
Popper.
little
Oh
moderation.
Lord Jesus.
Just encourage moderation.
Yeah.
Encourage moderation. Take it a little bit at a time. Mix it with something else. Get you a diverse palette going. That way, you're not facing, everything that Kiani over there said that falls on Black men and high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all that. Yeah, just keep everything to a certain point, just where you get it and you can get more later, rather than gorge on it now and overdo it.
Well, said it's that time.
We finally back in working order.
What's that? What's that, honey? What's that,
Oh.
Sonny? What's that?
Closing
What
thoughts.
is that?
Closing thoughts.
Oh, closing thoughts.
It's
Okay.
almost time to send her to the home. It's almost.
Closing thoughts.
Goodness.
All right, closing thoughts then. Let's see. Closing thoughts.
When did we start doing closing thoughts?
Final
I
thoughts.
don't know. What is it supposed to be? Closing thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. That's the word. Final thoughts. See. Now I know somebody's been paying attention. That was a test. See there, y'all got it right.
You're
Y'all
gonna
got
get me with her final thoughts too.
But hey, hi, Reedy.
Listen, stop talking to him. Go.
Okay. I'm like this. If you know what, if you're eating chicken, if you're eating chicken every day of the week, if you're eating chicken like I was eating chicken, you got to get off. Okay, get off of it because it's not good for you. You're gonna end up wearing chicken all on your hip and all on your thigh and stuff like you were wearing chicken. Boosh, boosh. Chicken is what you're gonna be. Is what you're gonna be wearing, all right?
Pimple popper.
So get off the chicken and some of that greasy pork chops, which I really love. Ooh. And whatever you do, if you don't want to get off chicken, don't watch Dr. Pimple Popper, okay? And see the chicken come out of the bump. It looks like chicken and pulse and cottage cheese all mixed up, coming out of the big. Okay, whatever. Okay, don't watch
swear.
it. Don't watch it, okay? Just
Listen.
don't. Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
If you
Just don't watch her.
get the pimple popper and the chicken and the cottage cheese, I'm not only going to throw up in my mouth, but I'm going to throw up in yours.
Look,
Is Henry here?
just don't watch it.
Goodness.
Don't watch it, okay? And try to eat healthy. Just don't watch Dr. Pimple Popper.
I'm ruined.
You again, do watch her because it's a good show. It's a good show.
My career is over.
But do watch her because it's a good show. I love her show. I love
We
it.
don't talk about Henry.
Are you
You're
gonna pass
just not
it to
gonna want to
anybody
do
else?
anything.
Who's next? Please, God.
This is the show that doesn't end. All right, fine, I'll do it. Devin, final thoughts.
Eat what you like to in moderation, and if you like to work out, mix that in so you can have a good balance of all that and be the best you can be.
Jay,
I know for a fact I'm not eating after this, but I can tell you for a fact your body speaks to you. Listen, for a while I was eating stuff that I not only did not like, but it also made me feel terrible. I'm currently a loyal pescatarian. I don't eat most livestock aside from chicken. And aside from that, I eat my vegetables, but I also eat seafood. I've never felt better in my life. So think about what you want to put into your body, what you want to get out as a result, and do that. Try it. Don't necessarily hold on to it forever because you might need to change it. However, everything in moderation, nothing hurts. Still don't eat pork though. Doesn't sit right there. John can have the bacon. Next.
Well, first off, I hope Jay enjoys his spaghetti dinner he's going to have tonight.
Lucky for me, she's unconscious.
And but I go in a little different direction. I mean, eat in moderation, all that good stuff, all what y'all said, but also try different kinds of food. I'm referring to really different ethnic kinds of food.
You didn't.
That's why I envy people who live in big cities. They can try different kind of ethnic food every night. Not every night, but very often. You know, from Europe, Asia, South America, but also even there, eat in moderation as well. But eat healthy, be happy.
I'm going next. I want our guests to go last. Lita, go ahead and put yours in the chat so I can put up there. Mine is, I'm not going to be like the other two knuckleheads and tell you to definitely stop eating anything. It's you live once, enjoy it. Eat lettuce your whole life and die all you want. If that's what you want to do. That's your prerogative. But your life. But do find better ways to prepare it. You don't have to listen to everyone's nonsense rambling about pigs, but that's fine. Eat what you want. Bake your food instead of frying it. Learn how to use different seasonings so that it tastes better. I remember when I was growing up, everything that was healthy tasted terrible. And that's not like that these days. There's a lot of healthy things that taste very, very good. And I just don't trust any black person that tells me to get off chicken. We're gonna throw that to we're gonna throw it to Weenie.
Yeah. So from my perspective, everything has its positives and its negatives. For example, eating meat, it's going to reduce your longevity, but it's pretty arguable that eating more meat will help you build more muscle. So it really depends on your goals. From my perspective, I actually think that eating like white bread or enriched grains or anything that's too high in carbohydrates or that'll spike your insulin a lot, that's worse than most meats, in my opinion. Again, though, everything, it depends on your goals. Eat in moderation. Exercise as much as you can. You can't out exercise a bad diet,
Correct.
but it can undo quite a bit of damage if you eat a little bit too much. Again, try to eat light if you want to live long. A caloric deficit will increase that longevity. But yeah, that's just my perspective. Eat for your goals. Everything in moderation. Yeah. That's my perspective.
Cool.
Yeah. Dabble in intermittent fasting occasionally too. I wrote a nice, good 20-page paper. If you're ever interested, if you don't have to eat breakfast, it just as long as you get your nutrients in each and every day. I've been practicing intermittent fasting for about a decade now, and I feel great. Yeah.
I just did that too in preparation for the showcase I was just in, intermittent
Oh,
fasting.
that's good for you. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.